we got a trade idea, but I got to remind everybody that if you need therapy,
I finished both my work.
this segment that we're about to talk about is brought to us by BetterHelp. Sometimes we all need the opportunity to get something off our chest, big or small. Certain things can really start to get to you, and it's important to let that out, especially someone who's unbiased on your life. So today, I want to say how I really feel, and it's something you might even be thinking about as well. I am a little bummed that summer is being flown by so fast, and we're already into the month of July, and it just doesn't feel like I've taken enough advantage of the warm weather and the great times yet. So I've had to talk to my therapist to get advice and learn a little bit on how to appreciate living in the moment and taking advantage of this. And if I can get therapy and have it help me, I'm sure it'll work for you as well. Therapy can be different for everyone, and most of us has bigger problems in our lives than our favorite sports teams, and it's important to get some of those things off your chest every once in a while. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible and suited to your schedule. Visit BetterHelp.com/lockedon to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. The Cavs have been linked to Brandon Ingram for a while now. Mm-hmm. It has been reported over the last few days that the Kings are also interested in Brandon Ingram. And there's been a couple people who texted me and asked, or really tweeted at me and said, is there a 3-team trade possibility here? So I said, all right, let me go in the trade machine. Let's see if I can whip up something that at least makes sense on paper. I'm not saying I would do this. I just think this is what the framework of a trade would probably look like if the Cavs, the Kings, and the Pelicans all came together and tried to work something out here. The Pelicans want Jarrett Allen. The Cavs are looking for wings. And the Kings would get Brandon Ingram in this deal. So if somebody called Koby Altman and Mike Gansey and offered this deal where the Cavs would get Keegan Murray, 4th overall pick a couple years ago, a 6'8" wing who scored 16 points a game last year, a very efficient three-point shooter, Kevin Huerter, a 6'7" wing with a high three-point clip, was in a three-point contest, and a first-round pick. Is that enough to part ways with Jarrett Allen and George Niang, knowing Brandon Ingram would also be headed to Sacramento?
I don't know enough about those guys, so I'll let you guys go. I didn't know anything about him until Mike mentioned him.
I mean, I seen the Kings, for one, play on the West Coast, so it's hard to really catch Sacramento basketball.
Play?
I know they put up a lot of points. They're an exciting team to watch. Due to sports gambling, I know a little bit about Murray. I done put a couple dollars his way. The guy, Kevin, I did see him in the three-point shootout. I mean, you get another first-round pick that's not your own, so I assume, Jason, that you could put that in the deal next year if you needed to, because it's not a pick that belongs to you.
Correct.
Yeah. You
okay, so then that gives you another trade asset that you currently don't have. I think that when I say all of that, and then I remember Mike saying last week that Woj identified Evan Mobley as the long-term center for the Cleveland Cavaliers, then I would make that deal. I think moving George Niang money is it can be huge in helping us get talent down the road, but I would make that deal.
Jason?
You'd have my attention with that. I'd have to
dive deeper.
It's not an immediate no from me. I don't know about you, Mike. It's not an immediate no for me. I think the hang up with Ingram obviously is what you have to pay him going forward, and I think the concern, like I mentioned before, is with the aprons, the first apron, the second apron. If you're paying Donovan a max, if you're paying Evan
Mobley,
a max.
Garland.
Yeah, Garland's already on a max. So it's not even so much the risk of would Brandon Ingram not live up to the contract. It's what levers are
but Ingram's not on the Cavs in this trade.
No, I know. But I'm going back to
just straight up for Ingram.
Straight up for Ingram. The concern is what levers are taken away from you because you've got all these guys on max. So I think
Ingram's injury prone.
He is injury prone.
Mike, would you make this
trade? You have my
trade?
attention with that. I'd have to look at it more.
I have been a massive Keegan Murray fan since his days at Iowa.
Yeah.
Like he's 6'8". He's a dead-eye three-point shooter. He just finished his second year in the league. Through 2 years for his career, you see his stats on the board. He's a 14-point-per-game scorer. As a secondary option, he's a, they run their offense through Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. He's a guy who fits in. I think he's a really, really talented player entering his third year. It buys you some more financial flexibility. I am very high on Keegan Murray, so I would have a long discussion with everyone in the front office because I'm not trading Jarrett Allen just to trade Jarrett Allen.
Correct.
But you are getting a super talented young wing in Keegan Murray, a three-point marksman in Kevin Huerter, who couldn't really play in the playoffs last year, but at least he's 6'7" and he's
Why
winning
couldn't he play in the
three-point
playoffs?
contests. Yeah, he started missing shots, and if he's not making shots,
He's useless.
but he's bigger than most.
Yeah.
I don't call useless. He's 6'7", 200 pounds. Like he's not a tiny guy who's a giant defensive liability.
Right.
For his career, he's a 38.5% three-point shooter.
Can we see the trade? Can I see that again? Can I see the trade again?
Yeah. So I would think long and hard about this one. I'll be honest.
I
I really
actually-
like Keegan Murray though,
I actually think Sacramento says no to that.
Yeah, why would Sacramento do it?
because they're going all in right now. I don't know why else. I mean, and once again, I only put this together because there are reports that Sacramento is interested in Brandon Ingram. They already have De'Aaron Fox on a huge deal and Sabonis on a huge deal.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, I just think, and again, this is like we're entering a new era of the NBA that even the teams don't even fully understand. Like
They're scared of it.
Yes, and I've talked to teams who feel like we're still trying to get our bearings around some of this stuff. But rookie contracts have always been very valuable in the NBA. It's more so than ever. Like guys on rookie deals, productive players on smaller contracts are now more valuable than ever before. So I actually look at that and say I don't think Sacramento would do that.
Of all three, I think I'm agree with Jason. They're probably the least likely. But if I'm Sacramento and you've been kind of in limbo the last couple of years, you have De'Aaron Fox, you have Sabonis, you can't make it past the 60. They haven't made it out of the first round of the playoffs, unless I'm forgetting, but I don't think they made it out the first round. That would make you a better team immediately and maybe push you up. And just like the Cavs made that tangible progress beating Orlando, maybe the Kings ownership says we need tangible progress. We need to win a playoff series. Ingram gets you closer. But
I don't see Sacramento's owner paying that salary to Ingram. Like I'd be shocked. He's they're cheap. Vivek is not a big spender.
I'm just they were linked to it. I was
Yeah,
asked
I know,
to put something
I know,
together, so
I
I
know.
put something together.
I know.
But if it was offered to the Cavs, at least from the Cleveland standpoint,
Yeah.
Murray, Huerter in the first is if you could turn Jarrett Allen and Niang
Jared
into
Allen
that,
and Niang into that's pretty
that's
good.
a pretty damn
That's pretty
good
good.
return.
Then you cooking.